Just believe it's yours and it'll be. Have faith and you'll see. There's a power deep inside you. All you gotta do is reach inside you. Don't be afraid.
Good morning.
You could face anything. Just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light, I am.
Thank you all for connecting this morning. I pray you had a great weekend so far.
I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless, I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose, I am passion, I am present, I'm determined, I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still
Good
I won't give
morning,
up.
Mr. Lewis.
Shifting your ways, be confident within yourself. Practice and trust, visualize all your
Hey, what's up, L. Cole?
focus on the better days. Be willing to let
Chris
go
Mack, what's happening?
and
Good morning.
receive.
Tranja, good
Just
morning.
breathe.
Sephoria, good morning. Drika, good
Nothing will
morning.
hold you down. Just repeat after me.
Good morning to all you guys. I pray that you all had a great weekend.
I am power, I am
Lashonda,
love,
good
I am
morning.
light, I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up.
You guys, while we're giving it a couple more minutes, if you can go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe to the page, and don't forget to turn your notifications on so that you could be alerted every time we go live.
Give it all you got till there's nothing
Gonna give it a
left.
couple more minutes and we'll be getting started.
More than capable. Just believe it's yours and it'll be. Have faith and you'll see. There's a power deep inside you. All you gotta do is reach inside you. Don't be afraid. You could face anything. Just repeat after me. I am power, I am love, I am light, I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless.
There she is. Good morning, Gabby.
I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up. Shifting your ways.
We're gonna give it a couple
be
more minutes.
confident within yourself.
We're gonna be getting started.
Practice and trust, visualize all your desires. Focus on the better days. Be willing to let go and receive. Just breathe. Nothing will hold you down. Just repeat after me.
Good morning, Queen.
I am power, I am love, I am light, I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough. Know that it won't be easy, still I won't give up.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. There's a lot of people probably still wrestling with this time. I woke up this morning wondering what day it was. So I always get pretty much thrown back when it's time to set the clock up an hour, back an hour, I'm good. But when it's going up, it's a challenge for me, as I'm sure it is with many of you. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But so we're gonna get ready to get into our discussion for this morning. But before, I want to share with you guys a recap of something that happened this past week. Silicon Valley Bank crashed on Friday. There's a story of this Seattle food management tech company. They were in a meeting on Friday morning, and he got a call. The CEO, he got a call from his one of his co-founders. They called and asked him, "Do you know what's going on?" And he was like, "No, he didn't know what was going on." They told him what was happening, so they started scrambling, trying to um, pull their money from the bank. And so they put in a wire for $42 billion and could not get one dime. They opened an account at JP Morgan Chase to try to transfer the money there, could not do it. Right now, the bank is only insuring up to $250,000. Many other companies were affected by that. Roku, Instacart. You have a lot of startup tech companies that bank with Silicon Valley Bank. Good morning, Tay. And so when this happens, it sets off just this horrible downward spiral for these companies, because many companies now are having to take out personal loans in order to be able to make payroll next week. Silicon Valley Bank is the banker for, I think, about 48, 49% of all tech startups in our country. And so the reason why I'm sharing this is because we're coming to a new beginning economically. Our financial systems are on the verge of an extreme makeover. It's been happening. I think I told you guys around late October, November, that you had these major banks that was registering their own personal digital currency. And we talked about how that in order for this digital currency to come into our mainstream economy, it will have to be a collapse of the old. The last time we had any banks crash. Now, Silicon Valley Bank was not the only one that crashed this past week. Okay, I think it was about five altogether. But this has to happen in order. Good morning, Sandra. This has to happen in order for the new economy plan to be rolled out. I don't want you guys to be terrified, but do be alarmed, do be watchful. That this means that mass layoffs are coming. We have, I think we'll be doing our jobless announcement this week coming. I believe it's on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesday at 8:30. So you guys be watching that. I don't know how this, or I don't know if you realize how this affects you ultimately in your city and different things like that. But we're all affected by these things, because I know, I mean, y'all probably don't use Instacart more than me. So I hope they can still pay their Instacart shoppers, because I need them. But however, you guys just be watchful of the things that's going on in the news. We have some very interesting and insightful things that are happening right now, and they're all preparing and pointing to what will be coming next. Good morning, Cameron. So this morning, I want to talk about something totally different. I'm not about to really talk about the economy. I want to talk about this passage of scripture that we have recorded in Matthew, St. Matthew chapter 12. The scripture says in St. Matthew chapter 12, this is Christ speaking. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. for the tree is known by its fruit. I'm going to stop right there. That entire passage, that dialogue right there is very interesting. If you have not looked at it in a long time, go back, refresh your mind of what was happening there. I won't bore you with the long history. I just want to pull out the principles of this text right here. And so Christ is here. He's responding. He's responding to statements and allegations that has been made against him as a result of the work that he was doing. And so I thought that his response was brilliant because he says, either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make it corrupt and its fruit corrupt. And so one thing that is very powerful to me as I look at this, I want to share it with you guys because it's important that you know that regardless of whether or not the fruit is good or bad, there can be fruit produced. Okay. So whenever you look out, when you look out at different ones in their lives and the way that things happen for them and the way that things are for them, do understand that just because there is fruit that has been produced from their life, whatever that life is, just understand that it's not always good. It doesn't necessarily mean that because a person is fruitful, they're good. You can be fruitful in things that are not good, just like you can in things that are good. But in this particular occasion, what was being referred to here was about communication and the condition of the heart. The scripture goes on to say in that passage, I'm sure you guys heard this 1,000 times, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Okay. All right. So he's talking about what the terms of communication here. Good morning, Tay. He's talking about the terms of communication, the type of the communication or the language. See, because the heart is the roots of the tree. The language is the fruit. And so, where you are right now, it is especially important for you to be aware and pay attention to how it is that you're speaking and what it is that you're speaking. And also be aware of what actually comes out of your mouth, so to speak. And I know that that sounds like, okay, yeah, we know we got to be aware of what we say. But Christ goes further, and he says to the Pharisees at one point in this interaction, he says, you hide the communication of your heart. You hide it. Where do you hide your words at? You hide them in your mind. Morning, Larry. You hide them in your mind, and so just because you don't necessarily say it out of your mouth, the fact that it's still coming up from your heart is, I think there's created a need for the reformation of your heart. You need your heart to be reformed and restored, and all of the things that comes with that. We just need it. But whenever we are speaking, the words that anyone uses, okay, not just you, but the people that you're connected to, the words that they use is actually a mirror image of the content of their heart. So, whenever you have those associates, those friends that always has something real slick to say every single time, do understand that there is something in their heart that is corrupt according to whatever the subject matter that they're speaking on. Now, I'm not talking about the truth that hurts. No. So sometimes you can hear the truth and the truth hurts. I mean, we can't do anything about that. That's just the way that it is. That's the way the truth is set up. But then there are those who actually cannot even hold back the ill or diseased words that are growing and festering and being incubated in their heart. They have to speak them, and they cannot help themselves. And so they begin to speak out. They begin to pronounce certain words that are actually contrary and diseased, and is hurtful and harmful to the lives and the listeners of all that will receive their words. What I'm saying to you this morning is to be careful of and be conscious of the words that you speak. Be careful of them. And when you find yourself speaking certain things, then make sure that you go back and check your heart and see where that's coming from and why that is coming. Okay. And when I say check your words, I hate to have to say this all the time, but I will say this. When you've been in church for a long time, you think the only corrupt words you speak is profanity. Man, get out of here with that. Let's not even stay that shallow. There, there, eh, there are believers that I know that can preach the house down, dance the house down, whatever you want to do in the house, they can do it. But their words are very ill when it comes to being able to address fellow human beings. The way that they speak and the way that they perceive and define others and things are just really dark. And I know when I'm in the company of those people, I know that regardless of how much Jesus they got on their lip, it's something else that is working deeper in the heart. That's something else that's dwelling deeper in the heart because their words are ill, their words are spiteful. There are certain things that you ought not be able to say to other human beings without being affected by the words that you speak. And in the name and in the gospel of speaking my mind, I just can't, if it's on my mind, I'm just going to share it. I'm outspoken. Make sure that you understand that your outspokenness comes with a penalty. There's a penalty for being outspoken. Where there is no government, there's always going to be lawlessness. And where there is lawlessness, there is consequence and penalty. Because the more you give sound and voice to those corrupt communications, those harsh words, what you do is you open up a file in your mind because you remember what you said. So you're connected now to what you said, and the ill thing that you spoke towards another or about another now has a connection to you, and you will forever be connected to the things that you say as a result or by way of association, because you are the origin of that thing. And whenever you're the origin of that thing, you remember and it dwells within your thought life. And this is the reason why you cannot find peace with certain things and certain people because of things that you've spoken about those people or those things. And so you will never have complete peace. You will never be able to be as fulfilled as possible while experiencing that person or that thing. Why? Because you have spoken so many ill things from your heart. And there's a connection between the heart and the mind. In the heart, sometimes you want to move on, but you still have the thought in the mind. And if you entertain the thought long enough, the thought is able to work its way back from your mind into your heart. And you end up repeating this cycle. You're just repeating the same cycle over and over because of the content of your heart. We're all content creators. This is what we do. You are by nature an influencer. This is not something that came with social media. This came by way of divine creation. It was the way that you were designed. And so as an influencer, you have to be careful of your communication. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to have someone that you love speak ill over everything that concerns you. It's hurtful when it happens sporadically. Okay, it's hurtful if someone says something that caught you by surprise. It's hurtful, but just imagine if that becomes a constant way of communication. It's very, very, very painful and hard to get over. And you have to consider your victims. And I want you, while we're here, I want you to really challenge yourself and ask yourself, how many victims do you have when it comes to your communication? Who is it that you always feel comfortable speaking corrupt words over? And as it relates to the relationship and that connection, what type of fruit are you bearing in that relationship? We do it on our job and we wonder why we cannot fulfill our dreams working on the job that we work on. It's because you only speak corruption over it. You only speak about how horrible management is and what needs to happen, and the employees that you work with, and everybody's sorry and nobody's no good. And you're speaking all this corruption over what actually finance your dreams in life. You're speaking all this corruption over it. And in essence, your job is like, hey, look, I'm the motor that keep your life running. Why you got to say all this stuff about me? But if your heart, if you find yourself in that place, make sure that you go back and you begin to pray to the creator of your very soul to help reform your heart. Because listen, I'm not saying you're not going to be angry sometimes. The Bible says be angry, but sin not. What does that mean? The rest of the passage says, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. You can be angry, but you don't carry your anger to bed with you and nurse it throughout the night and wake up the next morning and feed it breakfast. What is the breakfast that you feed anger? Going back over what made you mad last night, adding to what has already angered you. You have to be able to let these things go, because if you don't let it go, that's how you end up in sin. And when I say you end up in sin as a result of anger, it's because it begins to change the condition of your heart. And you don't want to have to, every time you get mad, have to go on this whole retreat to heal your heart. Now, I do understand that we're in a time right now where everyone is a little bit more conscious of self-healing and all of these things. But I mean, you if you stay sick and you're never healed, then you probably gonna need some more help than what the journey that you're on. But there should come a time where you should have a season when you're well. If you brought a newborn baby home from the hospital and that baby was sick every single day, is something wrong there. And he may need more attention than what you're able to give him or her. And so what I'm saying, if you need more attention and help, seek out more attention, seek out more help, seek out more assistance. But you need to be in a place where you're able to recognize it yourself. One of the most embarrassing things that I think that we can experience in life is for us to assume that we're well, and everyone that we talk to knows that something's not right and that we're not okay. That's embarrassing, especially when you try to hide it. When you're trying to hide it, that's what Jesus was talking about with the Pharisees. He said, you're trying to hide your words, man. You can't hide. I know the intimate things of your heart. What are you doing? You're trying to judge somebody else, but you're trying to do it in a way that doesn't make you look as bad as what it is that you're judging. It's in you. It's who you are right now. This is your fruit. You cannot deny the fruit. I don't care how much you say that you are an orange tree. If I walk up on you and see figs, you can identify as an orange tree all you want. but I'm going to call you a fig tree because that is who you are appearing as. And I think that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, if nothing else, this morning. Your words really represent who you identify as. I mean, not who you identify as. I take that back. I'm sorry. I need to retract that statement. I mean, your words reflect who you actually are, not who you identify as. Who you actually are. That's what your words reflect. You can identify as being a great person. You can identify as being a giver. Um, um, you can identify as being a caregiver, just as genuine and most sincere person. But based up on your communications, we know who you are, regardless of who you identify as. That's one of the biggest fights we're fighting right now in our modern society. People want to identify as something or someone that the entire world sees different. And so now they are actually fighting to make us see them as they identify themselves. But you only get to control how you see yourself. You don't get to control how others see you. That's not given in our power to control how other people see. We all see differently. We all have different vantage points. And praise God if you find somebody that sees life as you. But the truth of the matter is, no one really sees life the same as another person. We all see life differently. We all see things differently. And just understand that just because you identify a certain way, it doesn't mean that you are perceived that way. Have you ever talked to someone who identified as a victim in every situation? They are, I mean, regardless of how many times they've been suspect, they're always the victim. And regardless of how they fix their story up and tell their side, whenever you hear it, you recognize, okay, she still think that she the victim, but she's not. The reason why her girlfriend don't answer her calls is because she's always nasty whenever she do call. Just say anything, any kind of way. Have no regards for anybody else's time, no regards for anyone else's feelings, no regards for anyone else's life beyond the part that affects you. And you wonder why people pull away. And in your mind, you feel like you're good because you identify as a good friend, but in fact, you're not. And those are the things that cause us to become hung up in life. And we cannot move forward until we're able to identify the type of fruit that we're producing in our life. And many times that begins with your communication. Communication, that is what binds all of the population of the world and the world to come together. There's a language, and there are people who speak your same language. And you connect with the people that speak your same language. And so I'm wondering, what type of people are you connected with? Because the people who speak your same language, they will understand you, where you are and where you're coming from and where you're going according to how you're speaking. And so when you're coming from a sincere place, people will be able to see that you're coming from a sincere place. But you can speak sincerely, but not be coming from a sincere place. Do you understand that? I hope you caught that. Because many times we know if you know how to use your words, you can elegantly communicate something that is coming from a place that is so vile and so dark. And it takes a skilled listener or someone with the skilled discernment to identify that although you said that elegantly, it's coming from a bad place. I'll say this. as we get ready to go and enjoy the rest of our afternoons, I'll say this. When I was a kid, I can remember my mom saying certain things to us. Like it could be, we'll use fruit since we're talking about fruit. It could be fruit in the refrigerator, like grapes. I would see grapes and I was like, Mom, can I have some grapes? And she was like, Oh no, those are not good. We need to throw those away. Well, to me, the grapes looked fine. But because of my mom's wisdom and experience in life, she knew that the grapes were not good for me to consume. And so she said, No, those are not good. We have to throw them away. And in my mind, I'm saying she just threw away some grapes. And so I could have ate the grapes if she didn't want them. We didn't have to throw them away. And the same thing would happen with other things. I'd be like, "Can I have that?" She was like, "No, that's not good. My dad put that down. That's not good." And so I'm using that example because sometimes when you don't have the skill set to identify that which is good and that which is not good, you may not see anything wrong with what you're saying. But someone with a little bit more wisdom and a little bit more discernment will be able to say, hey, actually, what you're saying, the way you're speaking, what you're operating out of is not good, and you need to throw that away. That's what I'm saying to you. And you need to have someone in your life that has that type of access to you. Every time someone checks up on you, you can't go ghost or ghost them, however they say it. I get that messed up. You don't ghost someone just because they telling you the truth. And love, you need to hear that because no one wants to walk around with bad fruit in their life thinking that they're okay, but everybody around you sees that, hey, look, you got a problem. You're not okay. And I am trying my best every day to make sure that I am encouraging someone. My daughter said, ghost them. Okay, got it, baby. Um, I'm trying my best to make sure that I'm saying something encouraging and inspiring to someone. And because I try every day to make sure that I inspire and encourage someone, it's becoming more of my heart. It's taking monopoly in my heart. And so it's nothing for it don't take nothing out of me to encourage someone. Now watch this. Even if you're wrong, I could still find a way to encourage you and speak kind words to you and be gentle in my dealings with you. I can still find a way. I haven't always been able to do that. I haven't always been able to do it because I was raised up. Call it how I see it. And many of you here, that's how you were raised up. Call it how you see it. But then as I continue to grow, I realized that I could begin to call things how I want to see them. I could speak those things over your life that I desire to see manifesting in your life. And that's what you want to be able to do to the people that you're connected to. You want to be able to say, hey, look, I know you're having a challenged time right now, but I believe in you. And I really want you to consider this and you be encouraging to those persons. And even whenever you speak into a situation in your own personal life, don't be down on yourself. Learn how to get back up. And learn how to give attention to your heart. I know you know how to give attention to your lace fronts, your nails, the wheels on your car, your money. We know how to attend to everything else except the heart. Because the truth of the matter, none of those things really matter more than the heart. The matters of the heart are the most important matters of your life. And if you get those things, if you get those matters in order and you get those matters right, you'll be okay. But moving forward, Let's make a decision today that I'm not going to ignore the content of my heart. I'm not going to ignore what is flowing out of my heart. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to address it. I'm going to deal with it. And that is our personal responsibility. No one else is responsible. Now, watch this. No one else is responsible for making sure that your heart is okay. No one is responsible for your broken heart except you. In all actuality. And as cruel as that sounds, you wonder, like, how can somebody break my heart and then I'm responsible for fixing it? Well, because it's your heart and you gave it to them to break, right? You gave them your heart and they mishandled it, they broke it. It could have been because of negligence. It could have been innocent. It could have been just carelessness. It could have been as a lack of skill of how to handle you. But you're responsible for mending your own broken heart. It is your responsibility. That's something that you should do yourself. And you should take responsibility for making sure that your heart is okay. Because when your heart's not okay, you're not okay. And I promise you, it's not going to get any better. The only thing that you're going to do by not giving attention to it is learn to live with a broken heart. Learn to live with a bruised heart. Learn to live with a scarred heart. And you don't want to live like that. That is not a pleasant lifestyle. And it's not the intended life that your Creator have for you. That's not God's will for your life. For you to live with your heart in a poor condition. Wrecked. Ran through. Come on. You don't want to live like that. Because there's no way that the man can be made whole and the heart not be right. There's no way that could happen. Get your heart right. Give attention to your heart. Make sure that you are speaking your truth. You don't have to talk out of your head, because your heart is well enough for you to speak your heart. And the thing is, regardless of how skillful the listeners are, when you talk from a pure heart, people know that your heart is pure. When you're talking out of your head and out of your emotions, people know that you're talking out of your head or out of your emotions. And so whenever you get in your head and you get in your emotions, pull back. Pull back. Give some attention to your heart. I had to deal with some things these last couple weeks that come up in my heart, and I'm like, wait, where's that coming from? Because when I start thinking like that, I know something is going on in my heart. Now, I can't even think like that. I don't allow myself to think like that. And so I'm saying to you, when you find yourself thinking a certain way that is unbecoming of the future and the life that you desire to live, go to your heart first. Check your heart. Examine your heart. Do a full CAT scan on your heart and make sure that you get that right and you address whatever that is. Because if you can get that in order, everything else in your life will begin to line up and your thoughts will begin to line up, and you will not be tormented all throughout random times of the day by these thoughts that just keep coming up. And you are plagued by these thoughts. It's because your heart have not been made whole yet. Your heart have not been healed yet. You have not given the proper attention to your heart. And the last thing that you never want to do is to justify an ill feeling in your heart. Don't justify. If your heart is messed up, don't justify, because if you justify it again, you're consenting to live with it. Don't live with that stuff. You deserve for your heart to be pure. You deserve for your heart to be clean and not be heavy. It's nothing worse than living with a heavy heart. It's not God's will. Not for you, it's not. And that's what you have to remind yourself. Look, my heart, it's not God's will for my heart to be heavy like this all the time. It's not God's will for me to learn how to function on a broken heart. I got to get my heart healed, get my heart in order. That's all I'm saying to you this morning. Listen, we're going to get ready to wrap this up and let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your day. I pray that I've said something to challenge and change, encourage and inspire you this morning as you continue throughout your day and start this next week. Just make sure that you're giving attention to your heart and taking some time to sit with yourself and to just look through your heart, comb through your heart and see. Make sure the content of it is pure. Be mindful of the words that you speak over the situations that you experience in life. Be mindful of that. And I bid you all blessings and Godspeed. Don't forget to go and make your donations. You know how to do it. If not, hit me up and I will give you the information. But please do go and make a donation. Please enjoy the rest of your day and those that you have been connected to, and have the opportunity and the privilege to enjoy the day with. We never know how much time we got, and we never know which time is the last time. So enjoy each other. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've been inspired by this message. Subscribe to the page, turn your notifications on. See you next Sunday morning.
I am power, I am love, I am light, I am worthy, I am learning, I deserve it. I am faithful, I am able, I am fearless. I am humble, I am grateful, I am purpose. I am passion, I am present, I'm determined. I am strong, I am brave, I am enough.
Thank you,
Know that it
Luana.
won't be easy, still I won't give up. Shifting your ways, be confident within yourself.
Gabby.